We're live.
Hooray!
We're here.
We've made it. The
Yay.
big time.
Yay.
Hi, everybody.
The big time.
The big time of the internet.
The internet. Yeah.
It is internet time, finally.
Thank God.
How have you guys been? What have you been up to in the last week?
Streaming and watching work get done in the house.
Yeah, how's your renovations going?
The patio is almost done.
Okay.
It looks pretty good.
Nice.
Just in time to not use it for
Pretty
5
snow.
months.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
We tried to get it as early as we could, but it was not in the cards.
Yeah.
Right on. What about you, Paul? Anything new going on with you?
No, not a whole hell of a lot for me. Same old, same old.
I went to LA last weekend for Quidditch stuff.
Okay.
We made record time on the drive down. Normally, Google always says it's going to take 6 hours. And then it's like, nah, it always takes like 7.5. I don't know how. It just does. Even because you think like, well, of course you're going to stop for gas, you're going to stop for some dinner, but you usually don't stop that long, but it still somehow takes like an hour longer than you would even expect. I don't know how it happens. Weird time dilation. Anyways,
Sure.
we got there in 5 hours, which
Wow.
was insane. We weren't like speeding or anything crazy like that. The road must have just been pretty open. We suspect it was because there was a bunch of fires down there on the road, and it made people want to avoid the road. But at one point, we were pretty close. We were basically in the LA area. We were pretty close to the city at this point. You could see the controlled fires right on the side of the road. Like if we had pulled over, it would have been like 3 meters from me is a fire.
Wow.
And these are huge. And it was actually really cool because it was like must have been about midnight. Somewhere between 11 and midnight when we saw this. So it was like super blackout. So it was just like there was this black hill with like strips of fire going through it.
Crazy. Weird.
Yeah. It was a weird sight. It was a cool sight. But yeah, man, giant fires. That's a thing. They're just around here.
Nice.
But yeah, that's all. I haven't really done anything besides that. I guess let's just move on to the show.
Yeah.
There was my update.
Nice.
Top down perspective for October 17th. I'm Sean Booker.
Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
Is it just me, or does it seem like October is going by super fast?
It's going by really fast.
Yeah, like we're already over halfway. I feel like just the other day it was like the start of October.
Yeah, I agree. It has been going very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I had to wear pants for the first time since like February.
No.
It started to cool down in the evenings that much that I had to put pants on.
However, will you live at night?
Yeah, but it's going back up to 28 next week, so I'm already back in shorts. So we're good.
Thank God.
I hate you.
Don't worry about me.
I never do.
All right. Let's try Paul. What have you been playing?
This week has been primarily Destiny 2 now that my friends have started playing it a little bit more. So I've been just basically treading the same bullshit over and over to get them caught up. And
it's got its claws in you, man.
I mean,
this is like week 3 of Destiny 2.
It's the game we play to socialize with each other. So
sure, yeah,
what we do.
Right on.
So yeah, I'm just playing with different groups, like, because one of them's in Russia, one of them's here in like the Edmonton area, one is in the Calgary area here, and another's in like Jersey. So we're all on different like time schedules and stuff with jobs and
That's weird. And there's a time where it works for all of you. I would assume at least one of you is
that's
getting
why
boned.
I've been playing so much, because it's like one person goes to bed. It's like, oh, Russian dude's up now. All right, well, let's do a couple hours with him, I guess. Or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been just that. So I'm not as far along as I would like to be, but we're all able to do like activities around the higher end now, at least. So that's good.
Are you gonna do the raid?
Yes, 100%.
Are you gonna go back and do any of the previous raids?
Yeah, all of them, because I want the like titles and shit you get from them. Also, I think the first raid might be a good like warm up. Some of them have never done a raid period in anything before, so
okay,
it might be a good like chance to see, or for them to see like you really need to know what you're doing and just do it and don't like fuck around sort of thing. Like it might be a nice little wake up call because we're overpowered for it, that original raid, so it won't like murder us if we screw up, but I want them to like get the feel of like there's gonna be like puzzle solving on the fly thinking and like you have to stay alive and do your part sort of thing, and just get used to that idea, because then we're gonna go into the new raid and we're gonna get screwed over and over and over again if they don't at least know what they're doing. So
sure.
yeah, but yeah, it's been fun. I'm at light level 920, I think, right now. I would like to be at 940, but again, I've been working with people to get them up, so I think they're all over 900 now, so that's good. Other than that, I started Code Vein this week, anime Dark Souls game.
Okay. Yep.
About
How is it?
vampires. It's weird. So it's not. First of all, it's not exactly the type of third-person action RPG that I care for, generally. I like a system that's more like the weapon has a move set and like different stuff associated with it that you're using, and then you like boost your stats or whatever you're wearing to like kind of go with that, and you get better at just using that weapon. This is very much the weapons are whatever. What you have to get used to is using different abilities with that weapon or those weapon sets. And I don't like that as much, where I'm like constantly having to make sure my buffs are up. I'm using like abilities to like move around instead of just like dodging or like parrying. So it's a weird combination of like a hack and slash with a Souls-like game. And it's been taking a while to get like my mind wrapped around it, but I think I finally have kind of an idea of what I like. I want to go like a more melee build, so I have a sword that I like that feels good to me, and I've acquired a bunch of buffs that increase my attack damage, and like the first attack I do hits like for double or something, and I can put lightning on my sword and just shit like this. But so the basic mechanic around this game is that you're a vampire person thing, or like a chosen one, because of course you are. And what you can do is get skills from different like archetypes, bloodlines, essentially. So like at the very beginning, you start off with a fighter one that's just basic, like you get the gift of more health. Another one is like you can, what the hell is it? I can't remember all of them because the fighter one kind of sucks. And then like you have a mage one and like a ranger one to begin with. And then the idea is that as you're going along, you're getting more and more different types. Like the next one you get is like a berserker type. You get like a caster type one later on as well. And apparently there's just like 30 plus of these fucking bloodlines, and all of them have different like gifts or buffs or whatever that you can buy from them using the in-game currency, that the souls of this game. I can't even remember what it's called because I just keep calling them souls. I'm not going to learn any new words for this bullshit.
I hate words.
I hate words. So yeah, it's weird. It's this weird thing of like they expect you to kind of collect all of that shit and then make your own build according to what you want to do. Because what you do is when you have a gift from a bloodline, you master it, and then that mastered gift can be used across any of them, and you kind of put whatever passives you want into whatever like lineage or line or blood code or whatever that you have equipped, and those are what give you the different stat boosts. It's really fucking weird and convoluted in the way an anime is weird and convoluted. so I guess it makes sense. But like mechanically, the game plays fine, I guess. I'm just not a fan of that type of game style in general. I just wish it was, no, this is the broadsword, this is the move set, just get good with it. But this is very much like, oh, you're not gonna do any damage unless you like know how to properly stack shit so you can do damage. And it's also built with the idea in mind that you're gonna have a companion at all times, so everything is very like spongy. You have to hit the bosses a lot and dodge the boss fights are long because they expect that you're gonna have a companion with you, and I don't like playing through these games the first time with a companion. But if the game's tailored that way, it's kind of like way harder than I want it to be right now. I don't know. I have problems with it, but like at the end of the day, it's fine. It's a totally fine game. It's just not exactly what I was hoping for, is probably my biggest criticism with it. Except the character creator is one of the best character creators I've ever seen in my goddamn life, and more games should take that. That character creator was crazy. You could spend hours in that fucking thing. It's crazy. Down to like the different types of like iris and pupil looks and stuff for your character. It's weird. It's super weird.
Gotta make the perfect waifu.
So yeah, it's about as good as like a wrestling games one, basically?
Yeah, it does have some weird limitations of they're like, for the eyebrows or eyes, say, right? There's no way to like get the perfect look you want and then move them in or out on the head. They're just always stuck there. And that seemed like a weird oversight. It's like, okay, the eyebrows look good, but why can't I move them a little closer together? Like, why are they so far apart? I don't know. It's weird. But to counteract that, they just give you like 1,000 different eyebrow combinations that you can go through, which is arguably too much. And weirdly enough, you can't change the bust size separately from the body type, which is weird for a Japanese anime game.
Return it.
Yeah, exactly, right? No, don't worry. There's boobs everywhere, but you can't control it, which is kind of weird to me for an anime game, because that seems like the obvious thing, but yeah, that's not there. Oh, also another thing you can't do. You can't give your girl, well, I made a girl. You can't give your girl a longer skirt. What the fuck? I looked for
that is a weird omission.
I looked for like 10
Is it a
minutes.
Thing where you can like equip new gear.
Well,
and one of them will be a longer skirt.
Yeah, so I found out that's what it is for sure. So what you're actually character creating is what your character looks like in the like hub world, basically, in the civvies or whatever, in their casual gear. Because when you go out, one of your main items is like your cloak or whatever. What's it called? Blood veil, I think is what they call it in the game. And mine right now is like basically a trench coat. So honestly, it doesn't matter what clothing I chose for my lady. And I guess that's why, because there's no clothing options really in the game. There's just like a few preset clothing options, and then you can customize like what colors they have and stuff. There's not like you can like get a raincoat or get like different stuff. You can get accessories like hats and glasses and stuff, but like the full outfit come in just like some basic chunks, and I don't know why. There's a lot of like really good stuff in that character creator, and a lot of weird, just obvious omissions that I don't understand. So that game is weird, is the end at the end of the day. But if you want a good third person anime as fuck story game, so holy shit, this is the most anime game I've played in a long time. Every time there was a like 10-minute dialogue about why this vampire eats onigiri snacks, because of course he does, because it's anime. And even though he can't taste anything because he's a vampire, and how like it reminds him of when he was human and the war, like it's so stupid. And then of course the piano music is playing in the background. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. This is like literally every cliche anime trope going on right now.
He's just very sad.
He's very sad, yeah. It's so crazy. But it plays fine. It's very, very difficult for me right now. But I'm stubborn, so I'm probably not gonna go with the companion route yet. I'm sure there will be a point where it gets too hard for me and I'm just like, just give me that fucking companion. And one of the main reasons I got rid of the companion is they forced the first mission with one and they don't stop talking. They don't stop. The whole fucking time, your companion is just saying shit and I don't care. Like, I don't want you to talk to me. And I can't turn that off. So, yeah.
Is it an English VA or a Japanese VA?
You can choose. I chose English.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be better in Japanese because at least I wouldn't understand it. This is a good, maybe, way to counteract it. But that's all I've been playing.
All right, John, what about you?
So I've been playing more Yooka-Laylee The Impossible Lair. So still enjoying that. That's basically, again, Donkey Kong Country.
Nice.
Plays pretty good. I actually found, I think my favorite thing in that game is not necessarily the stages in the game, but exploring the overworld and unlocking stuff because of that.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of like little hidden puzzles to figure out for collectibles and stuff like that. It's very Donkey Kong Country 3 for those who played that one.
I'm excited. I actually picked this up, so this will be next.
Yeah. If you like Donkey Kong Country, you will probably enjoy that game. It's going to feel a little off, but it's still pretty good.
Nice.
Game clearing, we finished up Quake 1.
Okay.
And we started Resident Evil 1.
Which version?
We are doing the Director's Cut DualShock Edition, so the PS1.
Oh version. My god, that music. Okay.
But yes, I picked it on purpose. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That music is an abomination, but that's one of my favorite versions of that game. So, okay.
So yeah, so that I haven't beaten that game before, so we're working on it now.
Nice. How far
next Monday.
did you get? Or did you said you started?
Yeah, I'm running between the 2 floors right now. We've already put the blue gem in. We haven't fought any bosses, if that's what you're asking for.
Oh, just a basic idea. Okay.
Yeah, so I've already covered both floors, and I'm just like running back and forth with stuff, basically.
Yeah. Big
yesterday, my friends and I played through Dragon's Crown Pro on stream. And that's actually what I'm playing right now.
So you're finished it? Oh.
We finished. So here's the way the game works is that there's essentially 3 playthroughs of the game you have to do if you want to have it fully finished, but obviously you get credits and everything after the first one's done.
Right.
The game is I like the game a lot. It plays great, but it's got some weird issues, such as the only way to play online multiplayer is to unlock all the zones, which takes about 4 hours. So right out of the gate, you can't play online multiplayer with friends. You have to unlock stuff. But if you're doing local, it's unlocked by default. You can just go right away. It's a very strange omission.
Yeah.
That took us a while to get unlocked and set up. Other than that, one other weird thing was we found out last night, the final boss for a run, only the host gets credit for it.
Oh no.
That's weird.
Yeah. So everyone else like gets treasure for beating the final boss, but only the person who is the host gets like the actual game ending.
Great. Weird.
So apparently it's a really weird omission, but so the way it works is that whoever gets the kill gets 9, or whoever like who was running the game gets 9 treasures of like the highest quality, while everyone else gets 2. But then you can join in on the other person who hasn't done it yet as the host, and then you can get the 2 still. Because apparently, like you need to collect 9 items to get to the final boss, and then once you kill the final boss, you lose those 9 items. So the idea is you have to start and go get them again.
I see.
So it's a lot of juggling like that. So we streamed beating it 3 different players last night. The 4th one we could not connect to for some reason as a host. So he just went and did it single player. But it was just like a weird mishmash of like what is happening here. Like I can't believe there's like these weird omissions.
It sounds like it was never intended for online play. So when they tried to put it in, they were just like, oh crap, we're running into a problem where players have different parts of story progress. All right, well, make it so they can't connect to each other then until everybody's seen the zones.
Yeah, but like it's in the PS3 version.
Yeah, that's weird.
And yeah, so like I would have expected the PS4 version to fix that, and it's like no, it's still here.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, but the game is super fun. I do highly recommend it if you can get a group together. It's even good single player.
Yep.
But I had a lot of fun playing it with friends. Like I said, it was a bit of work getting through everything because of it, but it's good. We're probably gonna do a hard mode playthrough because when you beat the game on normal, your level cap increases, and then everything is obviously much harder. But you gain faster experience. They unlock a couple extra modes. So we're going to be worrying about that next Wednesday for our next stream.
Nice.
Right on.
That's all I've been playing.
All right. I will talk first about Killer Queen Black because now I've had the full experience.
Okay.
That game's great.
Okay.
My one issue from last week of like it loading really slow. I'm not even sure what happened there, but it's totally fine. That's just gone. Maybe they patched it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can play offline. I don't think you can play if it's on airplane mode because the quick way for me to test it, like, can I play this offline if I don't have Wi-Fi, was to put it on airplane mode as opposed to unplugging my Wi-Fi. And it just like would not allow it. I could go back into like the tutorial area and do some of those challenges, which the last one is basically just play a match against bots. But then you can't get other players in. Maybe if I should try this out right now. If I put on airplane mode and connect two controllers, can I play like local multiplayer? Let's find out. But the online works totally fine. It
Cool.
Actually, wait, if I put it on Wi-Fi on airplane mode, it's not going to be able to connect to individual Joy-Cons, is it?
No, you can turn on controller Bluetooth controls.
How do you do that?
It should be an option on your quick menu. If it's not, then go to settings.
But when I pull out the Joy-Con, it says attach the Joy-Con controllers to the console. The Joy-Con cannot be used wirelessly when airplane mode is enabled.
There's literally a menu option for enabling that. Unless that's just for pro controllers, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Controller. You said it's in the controller section?
No, check in like your settings. Like it should be next to the actual airplane mode option in settings.
Airplane mode. Oh, okay, here we go. All right.
Yeah, it's like a separate option.
All right, so I got my Switch. I got to prop it up against something. Okay, yeah, so it is connected. Oh, but it's connected like as two separate ones. Crap. I don't feel like figuring this out right now.
That's probably what you want if you're
No, sorry, it's connected as one. I meant, sorry, like one, like the two are one controller. I don't feel like figuring this out on stream. But the online's the important stuff anyways. If you're buying Killer Queen Black without online, what are you doing? I don't get it.
And they were giving away for free if you had Nitro on Discord, so you get the PC version for free.
Right. And the PC and the Switch are crossplay compatible just from the gate, which is cool. And you can definitely tell like who is playing on PC and who's not. For one, if they have a mic, they're on PC because who has that weird chat thing set up for their Switch?
Right.
And also, people that are on Switch obviously have like a Nintendo big picture avatar, and the other people like don't. I don't know if they have any kind of avatar. I didn't look closely. They're shown really small. But it works real great. Like if you just want to get in and just keep playing, like you hit quick play, it asks you, what do you want to play as? You can choose worker, queen, or either, which I've just gone either every time because like I'm down to party as whatever, right? I'll play whatever I need to play. Sure. It'll just put you in a match, and then it'll get you into a best 3 out of 5. You play through those with rotating maps. Once a winner's declared, it'll put you guys back on a screen and basically say, do you want to vote to play again? Do you want to leave? Or do you want to vote to mix up the teams? which I think is really nice because if you just get like destroyed or you destroy the other team, it's like I think we should mix up the teams. One of them's clearly better. Let's shuffle the deck. So I like that you can vote for that.
Yeah.
And then it'll just put you in another match. If anyone leaves, it'll replace them with a bot, which is definitely nice as well because that would be pretty hard to do without it. Not having voices definitely makes the game harder because I feel like Killer Queen is a game where you want to talk for two reasons.
Organizing and yelling.
The first one is, you want to just shout a bunch because you want to shout like, go for the queen, look over the queen, like you got to protect me, hurry up. And then you also want to yell snail as often as you can because you want to get on that snail victory. Which, by the way, I got a snail victory last night without being touched. So that means it was like a perfect snail run, and you get like a special emblem for like not having slowed down at all with the snail. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
And then the second reason you want to be able to talk is because you need to be able to like change tactics on the fly. So for those who don't know what Killer Queen is, excuse me, it's an arcade game where Killer Queen Black specifically is 4-on-4, and it controls like Joust. If you have a character that has wings, whether that's the queen or an upgraded worker. And there's 3 ways to win. If you collect enough berries and bring them back to your home base, that's an economic victory. A military victory is if you kill the opposing queen 3 times, and then the snail victory is if you bring the snail all the way to to your side of the map. So you have to kind of change tactics on the fly based on what's going on, and not being able to do that is kind of frustrating. Because sometimes it's like, oh crap, like our queen is in no position to keep fighting. We need to switch to something else. Or if you guys decide to go economic first, and it's like economic is just not working for us, like we gotta attack the queen because we're gonna lose, something like that. You can't tell your teammates that, which is a bummer. You also can't just like set up a strategy from the get-go of like, what do you want to go? It's just like, well, I hope people just kind of figure it out. Which makes me think the PC version might be a little nicer for that, since it's a lot easier and more often you'll find people with a headset. I've come across one person with a headset. It actually worked fine. Like they must have been on PC coming through my TV speakers. But most people are not playing with headsets, so it's just kind of like for random. Maybe if I was playing some ranked matches, that'd be different.
Likely.
Not sure. Also, I don't know I don't think there's a way for you to like bring in your friends. Specifically.
Yeah.
I can definitely do like if I want to play online with like my girlfriend as well, she can sync another controller to my Wii. Or sorry, my Switch.
Yeah.
My Wii? Why did I say my Wii? Who's talked about the Wii in like 4 years?
You apparently.
I used one like 2 weeks ago.
That's insane. You're the only person. That's a fact.
No, I highly doubt that.
Anyway, my point is you can sync 2 controllers and then both go into the quick play together, and then you'll be on the same team and stuff like that. I don't know if you can do more than that. It only says like add one controller.
That would be insane if you couldn't.
I didn't see like invite friends or like a lobby system. Maybe there's more on the PC version, but I'm playing the Switch one. It does seem weird that you wouldn't be able to do that. And I could not find one. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe in the custom matches. I didn't put together any custom matches. I was just playing quick play and just kind of going through that over and over again. But either way, though, the game runs fine. I got like no lag. Hopefully people on the other end were not getting any lag, but yeah, it's totally fine. Some of the new additions, I mentioned them briefly last week. There's new like fighters you can turn into. There's actually a few different things you can upgrade to. I think on the arcade version, there was just one. You would just upgrade to what was basically another queen, kind of, right? Like a sword carrying.
Yeah, sword carrying unit.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few. So in terms of the one where you like increase your size, there's the sword one again, which is still my favorite. I think it's the most versatile. There's one that has a mace, with a ball and chain that spins it around in a circle, so you can kind of protect your whole body and like move towards someone. There's also one, this one's weird, that has a laser gun that shoots a bullet that goes straight horizontally. So you can hit them from far away, but it has a long charge up. So you can't just be mashing it. You need to really like get your shot down and shoot it. But I can't tell you, like, how many times I've been hit, because you do not expect just a bullet to come out of like nowhere from across the screen. So that one's super interesting. That's going to throw off like the meta, I'm sure. I honestly cannot wait to see some like high level Killer Queen play with all these new additions. You can also upgrade your worker to not be like a bigger unit. There's ways you can just upgrade them and they stay a worker. One is they get a shield, like some kind of energy shield in front of them, which allows them to push things around and also block attacks. And another one is you just become like really fast. So if you're kind of going for like the economic victory, you can get that ability and then you can move really fast. Also, you can throw the berries, which is really cool, because if you're in a good position where your base is compared to where your berries are, you can just grab the berry, throw it down to your base, and have someone there grabbing it and putting them in the holes.
Nice.
So there's quite a bit more to this one than the arcade version. It's a really good version of Killer Queen. If you're a Killer Queen fan, you're definitely going to like Killer Queen Black. I can't wait for it to come to Game Pass and have it on that as well. But the Switch version, yeah, totally fine. Totally good.
Cool.
Recommend it for sure. If you're, yeah.
There must be a way to play with people. They're selling it in a fucking 4-pack. Like,
yeah, there's got to be.
Yeah.
Then it's not easy to find. I don't know. I don't know.
I'll look it up after, just to be sure. I'm sure somebody's done it online somewhere.
Anyway, I'll continue on with what I've been playing. The rest is all just Apple Arcade stuff. I've been playing a whole bunch of that. Probably mostly because I was like on a road trip last weekend. First one is I'm playing Cat Quest 2.
Yeah.
Cat Quest 2 is Cat Quest 1 again, but now you always have a companion character because they also built in co-op.
Yep.
So you can play as both either the cat or the dog. I'm playing as the cat. Even though dogs are better, I don't know. It's called Cat Quest. I'm just playing as the cat.
Well, you can switch between them on the fly. Also,
you can. Yep, and you can equip different magic to each one, so that's useful.
My dog's basically a mage, while my cat is a, I don't know, knight, I guess.
So I thought about doing that, but I really hate equipping the staffs to them because it cuts their health in half.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because I guess typically in like RPGs, mages are like a weaker unit when it comes to like getting hit. So that does make sense, but I just don't like it really. I don't know. But it's good. It's, more cat puns, more dog puns this time for sure. It's just more Cat Quest, and that's what I wanted. I was also playing it with a controller. I'm playing on Apple Arcade, I said, so on the phone, but I was playing with a controller, and that's kind of a nice one because you can like dodge a lot easier and use the magic a lot easier. The magic on the phone is you need to like hold down on your character and then it'll kind of freeze time, and then you drag up to which kind of like to the outside of a circle of where the magic is, whereas on a controller they're just mapped to the triggers and bumpers.
Yeah.
I knew I was going on a road trip and I was going to be playing more games that I wanted to with a controller. So I actually bought one of these clip things.
Yeah.
Which clip, so they clip to a game controller and then you slide your phone on the top.
Yeah.
So that the game controller can hold the phone.
How was it?
I wish they made these for any kind of controller, like a kind of a universal one, but I guess because the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One controllers are so differently shaped, there just isn't one. I couldn't find one. So I got an Xbox One because I prefer that controller. I like the analog stick position on that one. What's weird is it also comes with like a kickstand, which I don't understand why you would have the controller and then have it resting on a table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're holding the controller with both hands, and then your hands are also on the table, and there's this kickstand for it.
Maybe if you just had to like set it down for a moment, you don't want your phone flipping down or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm sure there's some legit excuse for it.
The phone, it would fall backwards if anything because of the phone's weight. You could just like bend in the phone part. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, what if you're like, I need to
set it down.
I need to set this phone down right now. Like, Can't bend it down.
Yes, just put
Just
it
gotta
put
set
on,
it
put on your
down.
lap. Like what
No,
are you doing?
gotta set it
Walking
down.
around with this?
Yeah, that's weird.
You joke, but people probably did do that.
I don't know. I have refused to bring this on the train with me. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be that guy. It's weird because I'm in a spot where it's like playing the Switch on the train. That's fine. Using like this thing seems like one step too far. It's like the person playing like the VR on an airplane.
It's weird because I'm the opposite way. I would rather take that than the Switch. Because like I always have my phone on me that can fold up and put in my pocket, and then I just have a controller in like my backpack or something. Rather than the Switch being just like this giant
I don't know.
screen.
Maybe it's something personal. I just think there's something like silly about like, look at that guy with his like weird contraption he's put together so that he can like really game on this train, as opposed to like the Switch where it's like meant to be like portable entirely.
I think it's
I don't
kind
know.
of weird seeing anybody do anything except ignore people on the bus and train. So,
oh sure,
Also
like
that.
I'm not expecting anyone to like comment on my setup. I don't know. I can't bring, I haven't brought myself to do it. I can't.
I can't.
Anyway, this thing's cool. It was like $8 or $9 for a 2-pack. Why I would need a 2-pack, I can't tell you.
That's so good.
But I have another one of these in the bag in case I go too hard with this thing.
Great.
Yeah. But I definitely, it's really great for like when I'm in bed at night and I'm wanting to play one of these games that I think is better suited for a controller, which is happening more and more. I'm going to talk about another one in a second. It's basically kind of making my phone into a Switch with a controller I really like. So it works really nicely. And my phone can like Bluetooth to multiple things. So I have my AirPods in, and I have it Bluetooth to my controller. So I got everything going. It's really nice. I'd recommend it if you're like an Apple Arcade subscriber and you're getting into some of these like bigger games. This seems like a really cool thing to have, since that thing is turning like more and more into like a handheld console as the months go on. Speaking of which, the next game that also kind of forced me to want to play this is a game called Stela. I had mentioned last week, I brought up Crossy Road Castle, I think it was called. And my main drive in bringing that up was, hey, we haven't heard about more Apple Arcade games coming out. This seems to be like the first one that was like announced as here's more that's coming. That's actually not true. They just keep stealth dropping games and like no one's talking about them, or they're like hardly announcing them. Even the Apple Arcade Twitter only mentions them sometimes. But like specifically last week, like 5 new games just dropped out of nowhere. So I don't know why these aren't being a bigger deal. But anyways, played a game called Stela. This is a Limbo / Inside like. Those are probably the closest comparison. More on the inside side of those, because I feel like Limbo is quite a bit more puzzly than Inside was. Limbo had all the weird gravity and magnetism puzzles. Inside was just kind of like, here's an eerie thing that you are going to side scroll your way through.
Right.
That's what Stela is. It is just kind of an eerie side scroller where you're like running from left to right the whole time. Every now and then you have to push some boxes to get to a higher platform. I'm pretty hit or miss on it. Some of the environments were like really cool. There's the second environment, you're in this like weird forest, and there's these like what was that? There's like Slenderman creatures somewhere in the forest that you have to like stay out of their sight. So you have to make sure like when they're walking past that you're behind a rock or something. And then as you're leaving the forest, trees are coming sparse, but things are starting to catch on fire. And then you're just on this like raging, flaming battlefield, which is kind of cool. And you have to avoid all these flaming arrows that keep getting shot. So there's some cool ones like that, but then there's some lame ones. Some of the ones where you're in like caves, I wasn't a big fan of. I ended up playing the majority of it with, actually, I played the first half of it with a controller. Then I switched to the touch controls. And I wasn't really a fan of the touch controls. There was just a few obstacles that required a bit too precise of movements for me to like fully get off with the touch controls. I ended up getting used to the touch controls, and I did the second half of the game with the touch controls, but I would recommend it. to do a controller if you have the option. I would recommend the game overall. I kind of liked the sound design of it, and it's not as good as Limbo or Inside, but those are also like very really well designed games. This is just kind of like a good follow up if you're kind of feeling that vibe. I had some problems with like being able to tell, can I interact with this thing or not, in order to like push the block and move on. And I also don't like the last area much at all, really. But anyway, Stela is another game that just came out. I actually think it's on other platforms too now. I saw that it came to Xbox today. It might be on PC.
Quarter
Stela
one
with one L.
2020 on PC for whatever reason.
Okay, all right. I think I think today it came out to Xbox.
Okay, cool.
This also made me kind of start thinking about the idea of like, if these are phone games that I'm not liking the touch controls, should I be knocking them as that they're not a great use of like the native input method, or
Probably.
does it not matter because you can just pair a controller to it and move on with your life?
How important was the functionality of the two screens on, I mean, the Wii U, the DS, 3DS for games? Like, did you inherently not like games that didn't take use of both screens properly?
No, I do remember being like, I wish they would use the Wii U's touchpad in a better way than just like a horn button on Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Because, like, if it didn't bother you then, it shouldn't now, right? If this game's a good game,
well, I mean,
it
doesn't bother me specifically because I have the option, and I spent $8 on this fantastic clip. Like,
right.
I'm the
You're
true
ready
gamer
to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. But I'm just thinking, like, if it's not designed well for its native platform, but who's even to say it's a native platform? I guess it came out on this one first, but it's already on an Xbox and it's coming to PC. I don't know. It's just a thought experiment I had kind of going around in my head.
What
Because I'm
about
also
that
playing another game, and
game?
I'll talk. I haven't played Gungeon yet. But another game I was about to mention, and I'm not going to talk about this week because I've only played about half an hour, is Oceanhorn 2.
Okay.
Which that game seems like, oh yeah, play with a controller. It's like, but this is a phone game. Should I like? Why are you ignoring the main input methods? I don't know. Something to think about. On a different note, I played a game called Pilgrims, which I only downloaded because it had a cool art style, and then I found out it's from Amanita Design, and then I got really excited.
Okay.
Those are the developers who did Machinarium, the Samrost games. Most recently Chuchel. Really cool adventure game game developers. Pilgrims is another adventure game. It's about 45 minutes long.
Okay.
But they have kind of changed how the interactions of an adventure game work and made it into like a card-based system. So every item you get, you'll get a card of that item. And then when you go to some new interaction, you first have to play a card to be which character, because you'll be in like a group of characters. You kind of collect more characters and some characters leave and you get new characters. You play the card about which character do you want to interact with this new person, and then you play a card of what you want them to kind of present to the person. And then like an adventure game, they'll trade stuff. It's like, hey, I'll give you this sword if you give me a sack of gold. So if you have a sack of gold card, you can get the sword and stuff like that. Really just nice, good animation, lots of fun humor. I'd say almost all of the interactions, they scripted something. There is the rare time where the character will just kind of shrug because they don't know what to do with the item you gave them. But a lot of the time it'll be like you give someone an acorn and they're playing like hacky sack with it. Even though it's not going to get you anywhere, they just made that animation and they give you the acorn back. And you got to figure something else out.
Okay.
It is only 45 minutes, but that's because they want you to play through it several times. I only played it through it the one time, but I guess you can go about getting to the end of it in a whole bunch of different ways. Like there's not one set of like trading you have to get through. You can give different people different stuff. Like I have items I never used, but there's this, they call them achievements, but there's just basically like a list in the game of all these face down cards, and you can flip them over and they'll be kind of like a washed out version of an image, and you can kind of see like, oh, it looks like he is like playing the banjo. So now like there's something I can do in this game regarding this character and a banjo. And if you manage to make that interaction happen, that card will flip over fully. It'll be permanently flipped over, and it'll be fully colored in, like you completed this one. So there's a whole bunch of those. I only did maybe like, I don't know, 20% of those cards in my first run. They want you to just kind of go through it and then kind of get like a whole different set of interactions and whatnot. So that's kind of interesting, and that's a cool way to do kind of the replay value with the one small space they built.
Yeah, this looks cool. Actually,
again, that was Pilgrims.
It's like $5.
Yeah, it is
Steam
cool.
Too.
Yeah, I'd recommend it, and like it's free on Apple Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
The last game I'll talk about is Card of Darkness. This is from Zach Gage, a couple other developers. Zach Gage is like a pretty big mobile developer. He made like extremely bad chess, a few different games that I'm a big fan of. I also misspoke a while back. I said that Grindstone was the Adventure Time artist. That's not correct. This is the game that has the Adventure Time artist. Again, this is Card of Darkness. I'm not super feeling Card of Darkness. The way this one works is, so it's a puzzle game. You'll go to each different level, and each level will be like a series of floors. So far I've seen up to 4 floors in one dungeon. And the floors are set up like on a 4x4 grid, maybe 4x5 grid. Either way, it's a pretty small grid, and each tile in the grid will be a stack of cards. Your character's on the bottom of the grid. The exit is on the top of the grid. You basically need to make a clear path to the exit so that you can move on to the next part. And what happens is, if the card is face up, when you select it, you will interact with it. If it's gold or a potion, you will get it. If it's an enemy, you will attack it or be attacked, if depending on what kind of weapon you have. If it's a weapon, you pick up the weapon. If it's a stack of cards, you'll interact with that first one, and then the one underneath it will flip over, and now you need to interact with that. So you can kind of think of them like, if each floor is a dungeon, each stack of cards is like a room, and you need to clear out each room before you can move on to the next one. So if you're about to go into if you're about to work on a stack that has a lot of cards, there's a lot you're gonna have to go through. And it could be good, it could be bad. They're pretty much random. That's where I'm butting my head up against it a bit much, is the randomness. I feel is just kind of getting a little tiresome. It's gotten to the point with me where I will kind of just keep restarting a dungeon until like my opening set of cards to deal with is good. Because I've definitely gone into a dungeon, been like, oh, these are all just monsters. I don't even have a weapon yet. Why would I even try attempting this dungeon? I'm going to be at such a disadvantage by the time I get to like the second floor. This is silly. Because as you move to the next floor, you hang on to any damage you've taken. You hang on to any weapons or magic scrolls you've collected. So that's getting a little tiresome, is the RNG elements in it. And it gets hard to try and make a total strategy when I know, like, for all I know, if I lift up this card, there could be an enemy with way too much health. There could also be a health potion that'll like totally turn things around. And it makes it hard to like want to try and build a strategy when a lot of the strategy is just like crossing your fingers and hoping. So I'll play a bit more of it. Right now I'm kind of sticking with it because it's the only like vertical game, one-handed game I have on my phone that I'm playing right now. And I need one of those for the train. So I'll play it for a bit longer. And that's Card of Darkness. But that's all I've been playing. So why don't we do some news?
All right.
Yay.
I think the big news of last week is that Fortnite exploded.
Yep. Literally.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Fortnite.
I mean, it's already back.
It is already back. Does anyone want to run down kind of what happened? I wasn't following it entirely.
So basically what happened was there was an event in game where a bunch of rockets kind of took off into space. And then they hit something in space, which came down and crashed into the island. And it ended up activating a black hole. So literally all characters, the map itself, the entire game itself got sucked into a black hole in the game. And even if you were in like the lobby for Fortnite, you were absorbed into a black hole and you just looked at a blank screen.
I
While that was
understand if
happening,
you like loaded up the game, you were just looking at a black hole.
Yep.
That's
exactly
wild.
what happened. I know, like I can't think of any other game company that would do something this crazy.
Right. And let alone like this is the biggest game in the world, and they're just going to be like, nah, no one can play it for right now. We're just gonna stop. Like, wow. Holy
The funny
smokes.
thing is, it worked. Apparently, they were like the #1 watched game on Twitch while that was
Oh,
happening.
I bet. Yeah. I mean,
think-
we're talking about it, and we never talk about Fortnite.
Yeah, I think it was like the #1, like the highest viewing Fortnite's ever had. Period was
I
during
mean,
that
this
time.
is an event. Like you said, can you think of any game that has done something similar?
Yeah. I can't really.
The
per
one that came
se.
to mind, and maybe correct me, Paul, is like, hasn't World of Warcraft, haven't they like completely changed the continents and stuff several times?
That was Cataclysm, wasn't it? That did that?
I mean, yeah, but the reason they did that is because they knew they had to allow flying in their old broken world, so they had to rebuild it anyway. But yeah, they broke the world.
Right. That's the closest thing I can think of.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably a fair comparison. Sure.
Yeah. So while this was going on and the black hole was on screen, like random numbers were appearing.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So they had like a hidden ARG inside of the black hole. Random numbers would appear. People like threw them into Google Maps, like as if they were coordinates, and they found like a bunch of little hidden memes around the world. I think one of them literally went to a crab rave. But
People in the
yeah,
chat are also saying Final Fantasy 14 did this. I do remember people saying like, 14
not
did this
quite.
years
Like
ago.
they like that was like they blew it up and then they released another game later. Like,
Isn't that basically what happened here?
so this is the thing where I kind of hesitate, because you can look at this one of two ways. You can look at it as like they literally like just took the game down while they were playing it, or you can look at it as if it was a maintenance cycle. Which really, that's what it was. It was a maintenance cycle disguised as an ARG and like a promotional event.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep. That's basically what it was. Yep, for sure. And like the patch notes and stuff were even like something weird is going on. Like they were playing into it in a fun way.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. You were talking about the numbers.
Yeah. So the numbers led to various things. And then eventually, I think the trailer for season 2 leaked. Or sorry, I guess is it season 2 or is
Chapter 2?
it Chapter 2? That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, that had leaked for sure. Yeah,
Let's
there
say,
had been
'cause
like
it was
maps
season 10
leaked.
that this happened on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a new map now. There's boats and there's a bunch of other stuff.
Right. So yeah, Fortnite came back. It's a brand new map. Yeah, big deal for Fortnite. But yeah, that was pretty crazy of a thing to see have happen. What else we got in smaller news? We have the Stadia launch date of November 19th.
Nice.
Get ready.
Are you excited?
I don't know. I
Nervous,
think I'm gonna go
maybe?
through with it just because like I want to be there on the ground floor. I want to see if
Sure.
it works or like what I have to butt up against. I just kind of want to be a part of it.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to be part of the zeitgeist?
Yeah, I understand it's only gonna work on like 2 different Pixel phones at launch, so can't do the phone stuff. I should still be able to do browser like on my computer and also Chromecast. And if you guys remember, one of the draws on the controller was it's a Wi-Fi controller, so it connects to your Wi-Fi network, not to the device. That
Right.
will only work if you're playing it on the Chromecast. So you
Oh.
can't do the whole like just continue playing instantly on a different device, like move around your devices at launch either. There's like less and less stuff you can do at launch. But at least I can play it with the Chromecast on my TV. And at least if I can play it that in one way, that's good. I'll be happy about that. And we'll see how much of my like bandwidth it eats up as I guess play Destiny. I don't know. Since I'm in the founders pack, I get 3 months of Stadia Pro, which is their subscription, but they haven't really talked about what's going to be in there. So, yeah. Anyway, November 19th. Get ready. Mark your calendars. Wargroove is getting an update, which I'm excited about. Called Wargroove Double Trouble, a free DLC coming to PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox. It's going to have 3 new commanders, an all-new co-op campaign, new units, rebalancing, and so much more. And you can go check out wargroove.com for more information about that. Free DLC for a game I love? Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah,
I'm
no
ready.
kidding.
Let's do it.
Yep.
I also need to beat that game. In other big news, and I'm not really sure why this one was so big, because I feel like there's like constantly like retro game console stuff being talked about all the time. But did you guys see the Analog
I know
Pocket?
why this is the Analog Pocket. I can probably talk more about this one.
Sure, go ahead.
So Analog, they do special versions of hardware where they're actually meant to run exactly like the original system, but they're traditionally
the NT, right?
Yeah, so they've done the Analog NT, the Super NT, the Mini, and the Sega Genesis, or the Sega MG, I think is what they call that one. But yeah, those are HDMI 1080p Genesis, NES, and SNESs that all work like real hardware because they're using, I think, FPGA instead of actual like hardware emulation or software emulation like the Retron and other systems do. The Analog Pocket is a new Game Boy that they've announced. This is a Game Boy with a higher, with I think at least a double resolution screen and stuff like that. It will play.
Oh no, it's
Game
like
Boy.
10 times the resolution of a Game Boy screen.
It's something crazy, yeah. It will play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and with adapters, Sega Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket, and Atari Jaguar. And I think I missed another
Atari Lynx.
Atari, or yeah, Lynx. Sorry, Jaguar is very different. And I think I missed another one in there somewhere too. But like, there was
Did
like
you say Game Gear.
Yes.
Okay. No, I think that's it.
Game Gear, Neo Geo Pocket, and the Lynx. So
the screen is 3.5 inches LCD, 1600 by 1440. 10 times the resolution of an original Game Boy. That's not saying much. That original Game Boy had a pretty low resolution screen.
Yeah, but basically they are saying like that is a 1080p screen.
Better,
14,
yes.
Yeah. And there's another accessory that they're going to be selling around launch, they said, which is a dock, which lets you hook all that up to your TV.
Yeah, that part's pretty cool.
And you can just use an 8-bit controller, so you don't actually have to hold the Game Boy. So you can use a proper controller for all that stuff.
Yeah, it said it'll be able to use with several wireless controllers and just USB plugged-in controllers.
Yeah. So I have the Super NT, the Super Nintendo one. It's very nice. I highly recommend it. So honestly, I'm going to get this day one. I will be one of the. I'm going to try as soon as I can to get one of these.
It's $200 American, sometime next year. It's not an emulator. You'll just be able to plug your games into it.
Yeah, it uses the actual hardware. So for me, it's perfect.
Everyone was saying like this is going to be the best Game Boy ever, and I'm like, excuse you, I have a Game Boy Micro. This is the best Game Boy ever.
Do you mean that Game Boy where you literally can't do multiplayer?
That's fine. What do you mean? Why can't you do multiplayer with this?
You can't do multiplayer. You can't. Or no, sorry. Was that the system that either couldn't do multiplayer at all, or was it the one that you had to choose between charging your system and multiplayer?
It's probably that one.
So it's gotta be that one. There was some major limitation on the Micro, and I can't remember.
Well, I mean, the screen is really small.
Well, no, I don't mean like that. I mean like there was literally a feature left out.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm also, I don't even know if I would say the Micro is the best Game Boy. The Game Boy Advance SP is very nice.
To connect Game Boy Micro systems together, you'll need the Game Boy Micro link cable. Okay, so it needed a special converter.
Also, who's using link cables, man? You got to use that wireless one that came with Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Didn't that only work with like Fire Red and Leaf Green?
I don't know. I think I stopped playing like multiplayer Game Boy games like around the time that came out. So I may have like traded some stuff, but that was about it. Like, I don't know.
All right. I added all this
the analog
stuff here.
Cool.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's a bit too expensive for myself to pick one up.
Let's be real though, this is for collectors. This is for people like me that are just really into this stuff. And also, this works doubly good for me because now I can actually stream Neo Geo Pocket, Game Gear, and Lynx, which I couldn't do before.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You didn't have any kind of
emulating it.
Box? I would have assumed you would have had some kind of like something from analog or another thing that would have ran those games to HDMI. No.
The only ways to do those right now are just like Frankensteining stuff, like taking other systems apart and making converters.
Right on. Cool. It's coming in black and white. Which one are you gonna get, John?
Black.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, Paul, you continue with your stories.
yeah. So Riot Games went crazy and decided they need more shit out there because somebody probably just was like, wait, we have a huge roster of dudes and ladies we can throw in other stuff, so why don't we do that? They announced a whole bunch of stuff, a lot of which doesn't have names yet and are just referred to by letter. The first one that was fully announced, Legends of Runeterra, is a League of Legends card game, a la Hearthstone. So they're on that train now. They're basically trying to be the next Blizzard because maybe they're sensing weakness or blood in the water. So
Now's the
like,
time to strike,
we
man.
can do it.
Yeah,
we can do
really.
it too. So yeah. Legends of Runeterra.
Quick side note,
Runeterra.
I am so curious to see what happens at BlizzCon.
I am too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious in a like, one, what'll they announce? What'll they say? And also just like, I hope no one gets hurt.
That's the part I'm worried about. Like, actually. Yeah. That's the part I'm worried about. So yeah, Riot's trying to be the new Blizzard. They're taking a bunch of ideas and doing their own thing with it. So not a whole lot to talk about any of these really, because there hasn't been a whole lot shown. Project A is their next or their first person shooter, like a Counter-Strike Overwatch mix, because you'll have like powers and stuff, I believe, since you're playing, you know, heroes and whatnot. But it's going to be a tactical first person shooter made by Riot, which is fucking crazy to me.
Why not at this point?
Yeah. Project L is they're making a fighting game, of which I've already seen tweets of fighting game pros tweeting their tier list of who they think will be what.
Right. This one was known about, I believe, right?
Yeah, this had been known for a while.
For a bit, yeah. And Project F is they're making an open world RPG like Diablo or Torchlight.
There you go. They got everything Blizzard's got.
Yep. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yep. They just need, I guess, World of Legends now or something. Just have a giant.
God,
they need an MMO,
don't even
is what you're
suggest
saying?
they start doing an MMO.
So yeah, Riot is coming out with a whole bunch of stuff, and that's kind of neat. I mean, I really liked that weird auto chess version they had, their Teamfight Tactics, so that was okay. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they keep coming up with. It's kind of neat that they are trying some new stuff, honestly, now that they have all the money in the world. Or still, I guess they still have all the money in the world.
Yeah, I don't think that really changed per se.
Nope. And then for games this week, Epic Store is giving out Alan Wake's American Nightmare and Observer just in time for Halloween here. There's nothing new on Game Pass for PC, but on Game Pass for console, you have Panzer Dragoon Orta, Felix the Reaper, and Fallout New Vegas added. I think today or yesterday.
Next week is Outer Worlds.
Next week is Outer Worlds,
on
yeah.
Game Pass.
Yep.
Excited about that.
Yep.
All right, let's do some questions. If you guys want to send in questions, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. And this first one comes from Matthew, who says, it's just a regular day in your lives when suddenly you hear boss music and you see an enemy HP bar appear.
Okay.
What is the most likely reason this is happening?
I'm having a panic attack.
I pissed someone off.
Do you think you have an idea who it would be?
The internet.
Nope. Just
Internet man's attacking him.
Captain Internet here.
And then follow up is, what is the most ridiculous reason this is happening?
I forgot to wake up on time. It's my alarm clock is the boss.
That's
See,
a good one.
maybe this is
Yeah.
like super not an interesting idea, but what the first thing I thought of is like it's like my actual boss who I have to fight or
Yeah,
something, or
that
they're
is
like mad
definitely
at
the
me
most
or whatever.
ridiculous. Yeah, that's a pretty ridiculous reason.
Um,
Like, I guess mine is like hunger, and I just like defeat it by eating a thing.
Just
okay, sure.
a
Yeah, yeah,
burger appears and then the meter just goes away.
yeah. No, now I'm thinking on the ridiculous one. I'm trying to think of like what chore do I hate, and it's like folding laundry sucks.
Yeah,
It's just the worst. So there's my like ridiculous boss encounter. Is I have to fold all my laundry.
that's a good one. All right, I am 3D Homer says, what games, if any, do you feel have stolen your time? Like playing them felt as if a crime had been committed against you.
Like we're not talking about like time waster games like mobile games. Like we're straight up talking about like I wish I never played this game.
Yeah, like it didn't respect your time that you put into it.
Okay.
Ooh,
I hear this one a lot with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Not from me, just I've heard a lot of other people saying that.
I guess.
I was gonna say I heard that more for the original Assassin's Creed.
I could definitely
The
make an
first one?
argument for the first
Yeah.
one. Yeah. That definitely felt like a crime had been committed playing that. Specifically feathers or whatever. It was flags, maybe?
Feathers was the second one. That was the second one.
I think
First
it was
one was the
flags.
flags.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It was the flags. I'm pretty sure I found all the feathers in Assassin's Creed 2.
As if a crime had been committed against you. You know what? I'm 3D Homers in chat. What was your answer to this? What made you think of this? Just so I have a better idea of what this question means.
This is a hard one because like I usually
Yeah.
like just stop playing a game if it's like a waste of my time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what most people should do, to be
Yeah.
fair.
Like who's sticking with this game for no good reason?
Playing them felt as if a crime had been committed against you.
Maybe it's a game you just got too far in for like any reason. Like Quiet Man, I kind of felt like that, but we did it for the Patreon, and it wasn't that
Right.
long.
That's not a bad answer, honestly. I could have played something
But it's not
else in
even
that
like
time.
it's not even like too long or anything, right? Like it's
No.
not annoyingly long.
But it's I don't
Like,
know.
I mean, so I'm trying to think of like games that I like needed to play, and so the Patreon ones come up, and that makes me think of like Sonic Adventure 2. Like that game does not respect your time.
Mm.
There's no enjoyment to be had when you're playing that game.
Mm-hmm. What about a game that like literally stole your time because you put a bunch of time into it, like an online game of some sort, and then the server goes down and it doesn't exist anymore?
Ooh. Yeah, there's a couple games like that, like Chrome Hounds.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like every MMO.
Yeah, most
I guess
MMOs.
I could maybe say like Borderlands 3, because I was talking to my buddy about this. There's a lot of just like needing to run around these huge maps to complete
Okay.
these quests. So it's like, hey, you need to go talk to someone, and they're on the other side of the map. So it's just like constant, just okay, I guess I'm gonna run all the way over there, and it's gonna take like 5 solid minutes of just running.
Uh-huh.
Which is part of the whole, thread of discussion about how it feels like a game from 2012 where they just didn't like iron out all these weird bumps.
I
The
think
map was
I
like that
have it.
too, but they recently patched it to make the map navigation a bit better, so at least that's getting fixed.
I think I have an answer, actually. And it's not even a bad game, it's just that it feels like it stole my time. Is Red Dead 2.
Ooh, yeah, I heard that about a lot of people. A lot of like too realistic, so it just kind of wastes your time as a result.
I wouldn't even say necessarily waste is the right word, but yeah, it's definitely somewhere in there between waste and like fun. I don't know. It's somewhere in the middle for sure, because there's a lot of meandering, but the meandering's kind of the point of being a cowboy too. I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's hard to explain, but I feel like that game stole my time. And I didn't even fucking finish it. So
I don't know. I finished it. I don't feel like it was a waste of my time. I was just kind of like mainlining the campaign though. I feel like you can just you can do it as you want though. If you need more story missions to happen, just go do the story missions. Like,
card games are a good one. You get a whole bunch of like old cards in Hearthstone, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, we're on this new cycle now. Those are useless. Or Magic. Magic is terrible for that.
right? Yeah. Yep. John, do you want to take this next one?
Sure. Next one comes to us from Dead in Sky. Are there any game genres currently popular, or at least somewhat relevant, that have not evolved in the last 10 to 15 years?
How would that even be possible?
Simulation sports, but that's because the sports themselves haven't changed.
Okay. No, yeah, that's a good example. Except now people are playing soccer with cars.
But I wouldn't call that simulation soccer.
I wish I could call that simulation soccer.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Fair.
Beat 'em ups.
Yeah, no, I think sports is a good answer, because I was having a hard time thinking of like what game would be exactly the same as it was 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm. League of Legends Pro Manager.
All right, I'm going to read this next one then. Yogurt Sapien. What do you recommend for a Switch carrying case? Additionally, do any of you have any experience with a Switch Bluetooth adapter?
I've heard hit or miss on some of those. I know a bunch of people use the 8BitDo ones.
Oh yeah, I use that one actually. It's great. It works flawlessly.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah. It's just a dongle that like hangs off of it?
Yeah.
It's right here. Hold on. Oh,
do you have the one that's shaped like Mario bricks or what?
It's this.
Okay, just a regular dongle.
Yeah, just a regular dongle, and it can it goes to like different whatever your controller is. Has a different indicator light. So red is for the Switch specifically. Blue is for your PlayStation 4. Green for Xbox and for PC, because everything on PC reads with the Xbox controller. And then the Switch Pro is the purple, and super easy to sync.
Oh, so wait, if this is for a bunch of different consoles, you can't plug this directly into the handheld Switch?
No.
Okay.
Unless you got like an adapter, I suppose, somehow, but
yeah, USB-C to USB. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually haven't done any of the Bluetooth adapter stuff for my Switch, as much as I would love to. Just because I keep hoping like the next Switch will have Bluetooth in there, because why does it not?
Yeah.
I think the Vita had Bluetooth as well. Like, come on.
I thought the Switch had Bluetooth.
No, it does not for headsets. At least it didn't. Until you told me about the controller thing, I didn't know it had any kind of Bluetooth. What are you guys doing for cases? Anything fancy?
No.
I got a Mario Kart one I use here. It's within arm's reach. So I got this at like Target one of my times I was in the States. So it's very themed. It's decently thick. Has a little carrying case for area there. I usually stick one of these game cases inside of it in here. There's also
Is it
just
one of the
slots
ones that are big enough
to
like put the dock in there?
No, it's not. This is just for the actual Switch itself.
What about extra Joy-Cons?
No, I don't usually put extra Joy-Cons in it. The rails are about the only thing I put in there.
I got a pretty fancy one.
You can get ones for like the full dock and everything. They're just huge.
This one came. This came with the Bluetooth thing. It's literally to plug into handheld with.
Right on.
So I don't use that though.
I got a pretty fancy case. I forget the full name of it. It's a Nyko one. Nyko PowerShell case, I guess. That probably gets you close enough to it. It's like really hard. Um, but what the thing that I really like about it is it has a battery built into it. So if my Switch is ever getting a little low, I can plug the Switch into the case and get a bit more of a charge. It can hold 12 games, plus it also has 4 memory card slots, which I don't use the memory card slots whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I just have a big memory card in my Switch. But what I also really like is up here, it has this fold out little stand. So you can set up the Switch to like lay on it. So if you're doing like some multiplayer stuff with people and you don't have the TV, because I don't carry the dock around, we would just put this down, break off the Joy-Cons, and now we're playing some multiplayer stuff, and it's propped upright. So this thing has quite a lot going for it, and it was pretty cheap. I think it was like $20 or so. I did have to mod it a little bit because there was this little plastic nub up here that would press down on the stop charging it button, because I guess it's designed to not charge the Switch when it's closed, which seemed insane to me. So I literally just took some pliers and broke that piece off so that the button cannot be pressed. So now I can charge the Switch when it is in the case. But I like this thing quite a bit. The one downside, there's no additional space to bring anything else with it. I can't put like the rails, any Joy-Cons, any kind of extra cable or anything inside this case. There is just enough room for the Switch, basically. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
I have a 1,000 yen thing I picked up in Tokyo just because I figured I had my Switch there. I needed something, but otherwise I don't give a flying fuck about taking the Switch anywhere. It stays here.
I travel too much. I need to have a carry case.
Yeah. And I play my Switch like 95% handheld, so I need the case for sure.
Me too, but I don't take it anywhere. I just play it in my room alone. We're at Lucas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Lucas says, why are some digital only games that are multi-platform rarely, if ever, go on sale for the Switch, but go on sale for other consoles? Example, Castlevania Contra Collections have had PS4 sales, but to my knowledge, have not been on sale for the Switch. I see a lot of Neo Geo Arcade Archive games on sale via PS4 Xbox One, but to my recollection, I have not seen a Switch sale. The Switch does have sales, but it seems like certain publishers / games get sales on other platforms, but not Switch. Why?
The funny thing is, today there was actually a sale on those Neo Geo arcade games.
That's hilarious.
But if you want an actual reason, it's really just because the Switch is making more money, so they don't need to sell things as much.
Well, yeah, maybe. The one that came to mind for me was that I know the Switch costs more to develop for, and that's why we would get all those like Switch versions being $10 more, kind of in that like first year or so of the Switch. It just, for whatever reason, I can't remember why. It was just, I think it was just because it cost more to like print the cartridge than the discs or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So that might be the case, is that they can't put on sale, otherwise they will be in the red on the Switch version. But obviously, like I have no specific, I haven't heard anything definitive of why that would be the case.
Also, I mean, if the market's supporting those prices, people are buying them. They're not gonna be like, here, pay less money. Like they'll
save some money.
Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna do that. They're a company. Like that would be absolutely crazy. I don't know. It's weird. It's also harder to get codes for Switch than it is anything. Like for PC and stuff, it's easy to get codes for like most things. It's like impossible, even for indie stuff. They just don't give codes out for Switch.
Nintendo doesn't give out enough is the actual issue. Like,
yeah,
it's a Nintendo control thing, apparently.
Yep.
All right, John, you want to take this last one?
From Hayes? All right. Choose from the next groups one character to add to Smash from each.
Oh God.
Starting off with Crazy Taxi, I vote the Offspring.
That's a good one.
I can't think. I don't know any characters from Crazy Taxi.
I'll vote the
taxi.
BD Joe.
Yeah, BD Joe. There you go. Done.
I literally the only one. Gus.
Yeah,
Those are actually Axel, I think, is another one. Those are actual Crazy Taxi characters. PlayStation Battle Royale.
Oh, Crash. 100%.
Ratchet and Clank.
Crash and Clank. Okay. Sly Cooper.
Nice.
All right. Cereal mascots.
Tony the Tiger. My boy.
Toucan Sam.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of like what would be a really weird one to have.
Wheaties. That means you can pick any sports star.
Any sports star. The Trix Rabbit.
All right. Any anime except Dragon Ball.
Oh man.
Afro
I guess like
Samurai.
One Piece would be an easy one.
Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
Yep.
Paul, you got one? I think you're the only one who hasn't jumped in. Or
I said the Afro Samurai. I can't remember his name.
Oh.
Okay.
Samurai.
Sean, did you have one?
Yeah, I said One Piece is an easy one to do.
Okay, fair. The TDP podcast, Sean.
John.
Why me?
Because you're the only one who's in shape.
Okay. I was gonna say me just because that'd be fun to like be in Smash Bros.
Yeah, I don't want to be in Smash Bros.
You don't want to be in Smash? I want to be in Smash, but Sean would be better at being in Smash than I would.
I'll take it.
Disney princesses. Jasmine.
Okay.
Oh no, actually changed my mind. Mulan.
Oh, Mulan would be a
Mulan's
good one. I was thinking Merida from Brave, but I
Mulan's
think
a good
Mulan
one.
is a better answer.
Yeah, definitely. The Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons is next.
Okay.
Groundskeeper Willie.
Duff Man.
Oh,
Duff
that's
Man's
another
really
good
good.
one.
Holy
That's
shit.
a good one.
Yeah, I'm with you on Duff, man. That's a good one.
Sideshow Bob.
Oh, fuck, these are all good ones now.
I stick with
And-
Duff, man.
Last but not least, Backstreet Boys.
I could not
Lance.
tell you any of their names or what
Nick
they
Carter,
might be
because
like.
that's the only
Wait,
one I
individually.
remember.
Oh wait, was Lance NSYNC? I think he was NSYNC. Which one's the bad boy?
I
Brian?
don't have an answer for that question.
B-52. Is that the other one? There was like a third tier one, wasn't there?
A third tier Backstreet Boy or a third tier band?
Band.
Oh, 98 Degrees. is
That's
probably
what I'm
you're
thinking of. 98 degrees.
Oh,
Like how I somehow knew that was the one too.
oh
I would never have been
AJ.
able to tell you that.
Because he's probably the only one that's actually been in a fight out of all of them in his drunken rehab stupor.
Which
you guys
one?
know way more about the Backstreet Boys than I do.
I just looked up the names. AJ.
Oh yeah, AJ. And that's it for that question and for questions in general.
Yes, if people want to send in questions next week, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Destiny 2.
Yooka-Laylee.
Mine is Killer Queen Black. Housekeeping, the submission post for our top tier patrons will be live tomorrow. I'll put that up tomorrow. Yes, that'll be live for 1 week. So if you're a top tier patron and you want to put up a game that can be voted on for the poll the following the week, do that. Otherwise, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Later.